Hello guys, I'm here again with a video on how to get accessories for your baby alive real as can be dolls. Today's video is about clothing. These dolls are obviously quite small and I have found it quite difficult to find clothes that fit. Preemie size clothes sometimes fit them, but I've noticed that preemie size clothes are much more expensive than 0 to 3 months baby clothes and 3 months to 6 months. I can find lots of free giveaway clothes for size 0 to 3 months, 3 months to 6 months, 18 months and above. When it comes to preemie baby clothes, I've not found any person who was willing to give them away for free, and they just always turn out to be much more expensive. So I am going to deal with making garments for your dolls in this video. In other videos I'll show you what clothes that I found online fit these dolls and how you can buy them at a very reasonable price. So this is Martine, and she's asleep at the moment, and I'm making her and her two siblings a little jumper. And what I've done is, this is an old jumper that I have that was going to go in the bin, out in the trash, but I thought, why throw it out in the trash? I've not been able to buy a jumper for my baby alive real as can be. I just couldn't find any that fit. I thought, well, why not just cut up this old jumper and make it into 3 little jumpers for my triplets. So as you can see, what I did, I literally cut holes to put our arms through, and then I just used a pair of scissors to cut the shape of a jumper, and I used pins to pin together the material that I've cut, and the pins also give me an idea where I'm going to put buttons on, and I just put the pins on there to create a template of what I want her to wear. Okay, so I only had a little bit of material and I wanted all 3 dolls to have similar jumpers, so I've got 2 other bits of material from the same material. I've started on this one. I started shaping it, so still got a little pin there, but I have started shaping it. I've sewn on a little dog there. I've put one armhole there, one armhole there, and what I've done, I can't knit, but I found out that if I use a needle and thread, I can sew together all the loose bits of wool to create a nice firm edge. So I have got 3 templates, and I'm going to work on the one that is on the doll. I find it easier to make clothes for them when I put the clothes on them and then sew while the clothes are on the doll, so I have more of a chance of getting the size right, the buttons in the right places, and getting that perfect fit. So at the back, because of the fact that I needed material for all 3 dolls, I couldn't use the same material for this doll at the back. So at the back I have got here, this is actually an old sock. This is an old thermal sock. So this is going to be the back of her jumper. She's going to have black at the back and blue at the front. Her other sibling, one of her siblings, is going to have all blue. There's enough material for her other sibling to have all blue, and then the other sibling is going to have black at the back, just like Martine has got black at the back. But the main thing, they've all got blue at the front, because I do try and see if I can make them similar clothes, identical clothes. So I use scissors to cut the shape. I use scissors to cut armholes, and I use pins to pin everything together to give me an idea of the shape. It looks a bit strange at the moment, but trust me, once it's finished, it's going to look stunning. Okay, so I've got a needle and thread. I've tied a knot at the end, and I've used a needle with a big eye. It's got a big eye because I'm sewing knitted material. I can't knit, but I can sew. So I came up with this brilliant idea that I could just use needle and thread to sew together the knitted wool to create the jumper for her. So that's what we're going to do now. Okay, so where are we going to start? Let's start here, at this corner here. Let's take the pin out and let's start sewing. Okay, so we are going to sew. I think I'm going to put a button at the back. I think at the front she's not going to have any buttons. So I'm going to sew this all together so there is no button at the front. I think she's going to have buttons at the back. I create it as I go along. I don't really have a preconceived idea of how the outfits I make for them is going to look. I just take each moment as it comes and see what creative juices will flow and cause me to produce amazing outfits for these gorgeous little dolls. Okay, so that bit there, you can see where the pin was. I've now sewn that bit together. I'm now going to sew all the way down so that there is no longer a gap in this jumper. This is all going to be sewn down. So I'm sewing the little bits of wool together. And I'm hoping that it comes out okay. I'm learning as I'm going along. I've never done this before. I have made clothes for them before, but not out of knitted wool material. Recycling is a good way to source clothing for your dolls and for your baby alive dolls. Why spend a fortune on preemie clothes, which are so expensive, when you've got a wardrobe of clothes that you don't wear anymore? All you have to do is find an item in your cupboard, in your wardrobe, that you no longer wear. That's what I do. Get a pair of scissors, get your dolls together, sit them down and have fun with creating clothes for them. And some of these clothes could literally take you just a few minutes to make. So much easier than spending hours online looking for preemie size clothes. And you're making them to your own taste. And you're having fun. You're having fun finding out what you can do for your dolls, not relying on somebody else to design these clothes for you and then charge you hundreds of pounds and dollars. So as you can see here, see the gap that was once there is no longer there. So I'm sewing the two bits of material together, the ends of that material, and sewing them together so there's no gap. And as you can see, you can't really see the thread that I'm using. You cannot see it. I'm using a grey thread. I deliberately chose grey because I didn't want it to show, and it's not taking that long to do either. The time I spend looking on the internet for preemie size clothes for my dolls and then trying to find them that are affordable, it's time consuming. I could have easily just got an old jumper or skirt from my cupboard that's been sitting there for years and years, a few cuts, a bit of needle and thread, and away you go. I've kept the doll switched off because she doesn't. These dolls don't like laying down. If you lay them down on their back or on their front, they start to cry. They don't like it. They find it uncomfortable. So I thought the best thing is to let her just be asleep so that her crying will not distract. Okay, so I'm going to undo this pin here because I've nearly got to the end of that row. Can you see now? The gap is closing. And I'm not using any particular stitch. You just sew it. You don't have to know how to stitch brilliantly. All you need to know is how to put the needle in the thread and put the needle into the material and pull it out. That's it. You don't have to know any fancy stitching. Imagine how many lovely outfits you can make for your dolls if you just went through your wardrobe and found all those items of clothing, you know, the nice flowery ones, silky ones, scarves. I tell you, my old scarves have made brilliant blouses for some of my baby alive dolls. This is the first knitted item I've done, and I'm quite pleased with my progress on this one. Okay, we are nearly to the end of this row of sewing here. Oops. I'm just going to tidy up the corner here. So I hope you guys are learning from this. I hope this video has been very useful to you. I am going to finish this off camera, and then I'm going to come back and show you the end result. So if you like this video, do click like below and subscribe. So I'll see you in the next video, guys.